there's nothing I can really explain to you or say that's gonna make you want to do what I'm doing with my life, but it's just the reward of some progression and hitting a new jump. It's like it's unmatched. It's the best feeling ever.
Today we are here with Jacob Neiwert. He's a big free rider. Isn't that correct, Jacob?
Yes, sir. Based out of Utah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just on Instagram and you kept popping up and I'm like, what is going on here? So then I started checking it out and I see, yeah, I mean, Utah, if you're going to be in the United States and free riding, Utah's not a bad place, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of underrated. I mean, we have a lot of good free ride stuff, like fully natural, but as far as like compounds and hill jumps and stuff, we're still working on those spots compared to the Cali areas, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they have a ridiculous amount of very steep hills that you don't have to do, you only have to do minimal amount of shoveling on.
Yeah, it kind of feels like cheating. I'm sitting here on a piece of property shoveling landings right now, actually.
I had somebody tell me that you could build a free ride jump anywhere by hand, and I was like, come to New Jersey, please, and
Yeah,
shovel a landing. It's going to take you like a month.
yeah, it takes a bit here.
So how did you get into, just free riding? Did you ride moto as a kid?
No, my story is kind of a bit different than most people. I guess you'd say, a sports hopper growing up. I kind of started on pedal bikes, BMX. I bounced around between everything: wakeboarding, longboarding, downhill longboarding, and racing and stuff. And then it's taken me it's been over like the last 3 years that I kind of just sold everything else and kind of stuck with one sport. I wish I would have done it a while ago, but yeah, I'm hooked. I'm stuck on it now.
What prior to this, what was your like main sport?
I'd say what I did the most would be rock climbing, I guess,
Okay.
like up in the hill, up in the mountains. Yeah.
That's hilarious because
Yep.
that is not. I don't feel. I mean, I guess it's dangerous still, but it's not. People wouldn't associate rock climbing and moto necessarily.
Yeah, it's weird, but at the same time, it kind of it cross trains really well. It's the same,
Arm pump.
like for arm pump and your fear of heights. Like it's actually pretty damn scary. Like if you're gonna take a fall or a big whipper or whatever, and just like the mental challenge of pushing past your fear and getting over something it's a lot the same kind of as all sports, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think of necessarily that part of it. I guess when I was thinking about it, but yeah, I've definitely and only a little bit. Like with friends, gone out every once in a while, and you definitely hit spots where you're just like, you could either freeze or you got to suck it up and make it happen. And I guess that's similar on dirt bikes as well.
It totally is. Yeah, I've taken some big falls, some 30 or 40-foot falls, and I think that's just as scary as an oh shit moment on a dirt bike, if I'm being honest.
Well, I always said, because people are like, you're afraid of heights, like, because getting on, ladders or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have momentum or a motorcycle. So I feel like a 30 or 40-foot fall on a mountain is at least equally as bad, as crashing your dirt bike.
Yeah, yeah, there's some scary moments, but like all sports, it's pretty dang rewarding when you get to the top or clear that jump. So
Right, and that's what I guess people that don't do any of these things don't realize, right? Is that it's about the, like People always say that dirt bike riders are adrenaline junkies, and they would always say that to me, and I'm like, I feel like I'm an accomplishment junkie. You know, like where I don't like being scared going into a jump. I'm like, I like to jump it and get it like when it's over with. But I think it's like, I like the accomplishment of getting over the fear and conquering the jump. This podcast is brought to you. Now, they're all just affiliate links, so you got to go there and support to help us out. 640 Coffee was actually made by a freestyle motocross rider, Sean Connors. You can get 5% off by using the code JustClint, CLINT. You get 5% off. Nanobella.com. It is CBG. It's better than CBD. Helping with your aches and pains, because I know you moto guys crash periodically. You can get 15% off with the code Clint15. And then we have Hero Soap Company. Soap is made in the U.S., owned by a Army veteran, and a lot of the proceeds go to helping out first responders and other veteran charities. Sorry, there you go. HeroSoapCompany.com. And you can also get a discount by using the code Clint.
Yeah, totally. If you're not in the industry, if you're not in extreme sports, then you'll never really understand it. But people that aren't there are always like, why would you risk your life? Why would you go through that? Why would you have the injuries and all that? And it's like, there's nothing I can really explain to you or say that's going to make you want to do what I'm doing with my life. But it's just the reward of some progression and hitting a new jump. It's like, it's unmatched. It's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, learning a new trick, hitting a new jump. It's definitely, that's what it's, underlying all of it, that's what it's about, right? Is just like doing better for yourself and accomplishing goals.
Yeah, totally.
What are your goals with free riding, or just riding in general? I don't know if you just want to free ride, or maybe you want to do shows, or you have done shows.
I've done a few little shows, and I think that's fun, and it's cool that you can make some money doing it. It's pretty hard to make money in the industry, but really, I just love riding my dirt bike. My goals right now is just to keep progressing. We're working on filming a freeride movie, a Utah freeride movie right now. We have like 5 or 6 crazy locations, including the one that I'm currently sitting on, in this piece of equipment talking to you. We got like Tom Parsons and a few other people coming up to the property, and we've got some big jumps going in, kind of like some Area 52 style terrain. And yeah, I want to just put out edits, and I want to make a movie, and I guess that's the current goals, just to continue progressing and stay safe and stay on 2 wheels, do some cool stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you able to generate anything off of Instagram yet?
They've given me the bonus option a couple of times, and it seems like they keep switching up
the like how you get it or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like you have to select the bonus thing ahead of time, and every time I've ever selected the bonus thing, it just like I get no views. It just kills the views. So I'm just like
they do it on purpose.
It's not really about the money. I mean, I'm always constantly broke because I put every penny back into riding and just building this property and whatever. So if I get a few pennies from it, cool. If I were to even come close to breaking even onto what I'm going to put into this movie, cool. But when it comes down to it, it's cool inspiring friends and family and whatnot to just get out and do something out of the norm. Like, everybody's so caught in their own rut that it's like, get out and do something,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're headspace, I think, is right, because anybody that gets into this stuff initially for money, like that's the whole goal, it's never going to work out. You have to get into this stuff, and that's almost anything. Like I do comedy, and that's like also a labor of love for an amount of time before you get the opportunities to make money. And the reason I ask that is because, like, I want people like you to be able to make money free riding, because that was originally what everybody wanted to do, right? And I mean, like you said, like, the shows are cool, you can make money at them, but like ultimately all of us that rode dirt bikes, or I would say at least most, if you gave me a choice of going and riding shows all the time or going out and filming and making the same money, I would have, of course, 100% been like, I'm going to the hills, I'm not going to these shows.
Yeah, 100%. It's, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't live without it, and I'm just gonna keep pushing and progressing. And if something could come out of it in the future, from maybe some YouTube views or anything, then cool. But I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, slaving away, so that I can keep riding my bike.
Awesome, I love it. That's the reason we all started. Like I said, just so that we can, ride more. So that's cool that's your takeaway on it. How far are you guys into your movie?
So I actually, let's see, it's coming up on a year ago. I was supposed to film the movie, and we had the plan and the idea to film 11 locations in 13 days, and I had guys hired out, and we were going to make like a big West Coast loop, ride a couple like Caneville here in Utah and a couple other little local spots we have, and then go all the way to Cali. And so it was supposed to be 11 spots in 13 days, and thinking back to it now, it was a pretty dumb idea to rush ourselves like that, because you're trying to film all the gnarliest, best things you do in 10 hours and then drive 4 hours to the next location. So it was kind of a stressful thing, and on day 2 I hit the biggest dirt jump of my life out in Caneville and busted my wrist.
How long ago was that?
Last March.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a bummer. We filmed for videos back in the day, and it wasn't quite that extreme, but we definitely rode like every day for like 4 hours, and then drove like 6 hours to other spots. And I'm like, we had a deadline to get stuff done for I don't know if you even remember the TV show M80 that was on Fuel TV.
I think I know what you're talking about.
So we were filming segments for that, and we had a deadline, and it was like we had to keep like trying to get as much footage as we can. And I'm like, this is stupid. We need time to rest.
Yeah, it's gnarly back to back to back like that. Even just a couple days at a location, you need a few days off.
Yeah, for sure. And even people don't respect it, but driving is tiresome too, like, because you have to be thinking and paying attention the whole time. And, for an extended period of time, it is a drain on you.
Yeah, totally. So I guess to answer your question, where we're at in the movie right now is I'm trying to dig this property over the next 3 weekends. And then we got some X Games friends coming up, and I've got filmers booked out for this property, and then we're gonna swing up and hit St. Anthony, and then we're gonna swing down and hit Caneville. So I'll take off the first 2 to 2.5 weeks of May of work, and we'll get this first segment filmed out. I'm gonna film it pretty much through this whole next year, I think, and try to release it next spring.
Awesome. Do you know the King of Caneville, Sean Nielsen?
I do, yeah. I've met him briefly, but he's kind of a word of mouth legend around here. Everybody's like, yeah, Sean hit that first. Like, every one of the jumps have a name of whoever hit it first, and that's kind of what let's go hit Godfrey's, let's go hit Nilsson's, let's go hit Carter's. Like, awesome. All the jumps out there kind of have a name.
That's cool. Yeah, I know. I did some shows back in the day with Nielsen.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember then every time On the Pipe was there, it was like anytime anybody went to Caneville, it was like Sean showed up.
Yeah, yeah, he's pretty close to there. I think he may have moved back to Colorado now, but he used to live a couple hours away from there.
Yeah, and they would just hit him up and be like, "We need somebody to show us the jumps," is what he told me.
Yeah,
So that's how he kind of got on all the trips because they were like, "We need a local that knows all the hits."
yeah, yeah. There's some gnarly stuff out there, so I
Yeah.
don't blame him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you definitely need a guide in areas like that, or you'll
Hmm.
just find like one or two hits and then, you know, just miss the rest of the stuff. What is,
Yeah,
I mean, Caneville's pretty good, but what is your favorite free ride spot that you've gone to so far?
in Utah.
Whatever, anywhere.
Um, Man, I have an obsession with the dunes, and I
Really?
guess this isn't Utah. Yeah, there's something about just going so damn fast and wide open at things and just going 150, 200 feet. Like, it's just pretty mind blowing what is capable in the dunes, and it's just like an endless creativity thing for me. Like, it's cool where you can, like, especially this new property I'm digging right now, we're going to have a lot of cool things, but every time you go back to the dunes, it's reshaped, it's reformed, and you gotta lean off the lip a little bit different, and it's like it's just a progression thing. And I really probably all time favorite is Caneville.
That's a good one.
So St. Anthony and Caneville, I can't get enough of. They're so dang fun and
Awesome.
scary.
Yeah. That's some of the fun, though, right? Is
Yeah,
being a little scary.
yeah. Sorry, somebody's coming up to the. I'm on the phone. Sorry, dude. Yeah, this wasn't the best location to try to film this, so sorry about that.
That's all
But
right. You're doing it's fine. And your sound is good. It's very quiet inside your machine there. What are you in,
cool.
a dozer?
No, I'm in a big old uh 350D excavator. We'll
Nice.
show the viewers a little sneak peek of the property.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna ask. You got obviously got a lot of hills there to work with.
Yeah, we got a handful of hills. It's we're having to stack pretty big landings to make them more comfortable to land on, but it's been good. If we have luckily we have equipment that's a lot of people are helping us out. So
Is it not free riding once you use the equipment?
um, I don't know. I don't know a single jump that we're digging right now that you'd ever see on a track or any track rider would want to hit. Like they're super poppy and peaky. So I would consider it a free ride, I guess.
I'm just giving you a hard time. That's a question that we've always had where it's like you can Steve Sommerfeld and I were talking about doing like a online contest for free riding, and we were like talking about the parameters of it's like only shovels. Can you use can you use a bobcat? Can you build a big sketchy takeoff ramp like Cole Denny? You know, like what would be the parameters for it to still be free ride?
I think free ride is anything that's kind of poppy and long distance, like things you don't find on a track. And it's like whether you put a sketchy wood lip or you build something with a piece of machinery that's going to a natural landing. Um, yeah, I would consider a lot of things free ride that you wouldn't see on a track.
Yeah, I agree. And that people on tracks, you know, they're like, I had a promoter was like, come to the race and tricks on this. There's like an 85-foot jump on the track, and I'm like, bro, that thing does not have enough lip to barely do no footers. Like, what are we gonna do on this? And the pro guys could barely get over it. It was like out of a corner, and I'm like, this is not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, pop is a free ride thing. If you don't have enough pop, like, yeah, I consider really poppy stuff free ride.
That's probably not a bad deciding factor, right? Like a moto jump versus a free ride jump. Exactly what you're saying. You know, a free ride jump is going to be way, steeper than a moto jump. There's pretty much not any track. I tell people that even ramps, which I mean, now we're building dirt jumps, obviously steeper, but I'm like, it's like hit a ramp. You'll never hit a jump on a track ever anywhere that hits like a ramp.
Yeah, so I'd say a ramp and steeper is free ride. Like, you're never going to hit anything that steep on a track.
Yeah, for sure. Nice can. Whipped out, no footed can.
Thanks,
What's
dude.
your favorite trick? Other than whip?
Probably that one. Probably the whipped out, no footed can is, I mean, I only know a few tricks. Superman, can, or no footed can, and Nax. But I've got some plans for some other new things this year that we're going to be working on. But
I saw a heart attack in here.
The no footed can. Okay, I guess you can call that a heart attack.
Yeah, that's a heart attack.
Superman.
Oh, that's cool. What you were calling. I was thinking regular Superman, no seat grab.
Yeah,
you're up. That's a heart attack. It's not even.
Cool.
It's bigger than a half attack. Even, when people just start to barely get up, and they're like, "I did a heart attack." Cool. And we're like, "No, that's a half attack. Settle down."
Well, that's cool. That's good to know. I'd always just called it a Superman seat grab.
Yeah, no, you're going into heart attack area there. I saw Parsons. Well, you mentioned him before. Have you gotten to ride with Tom yet?
Yeah, I met him in Caneville. Probably, I mean, he hit us up, hit me up to come. He was coming to Caneville. I met him probably less than 2 years ago, year and a half ish, and now every time he comes to Utah, he comes and rides.
Yeah, Tom's the man. He's another guy that's like undercover badass. If you met him, you just like walking around somewhere, you would never be like, this dude's super gnarly.
I know, just the most relaxed, calm human on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Everybody calls him Turtle Tom because he's just like drives super slow everywhere and is hard to make plans with, but he's like just so laid back and so chill, and then by the time you get to the spot, he's just sending some wild stuff.
Yeah.
And doesn't even think twice about it. It's so cool to watch.
Yeah, big stuff. There was a and I only jumped one of the big ass jumps that he jumped, or I saw him do. It was in Bakersfield, and dude, I just hit it. It was a 150, and I like just jumped it straight or whatever, and then I saw him do whips on it, and I was trying to imagine trying to whip off that thing going as fast as I was going, and the face wasn't like that tall for as fast as you were going, and I'm just like, how in the hell did he do that whip off of that thing? That was crazy.
Yeah, I've come to realize that a lot of times, more speed you have, it is like the whips come out way easier because you just got more tire speed and more gyro going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a whole other thing to convince yourself to do a whip when you're third and fourth wide. That's a whole nother animal for sure.
Maybe that's what it was. I couldn't convince myself to lean off of the thing. But like I said, even the face didn't seem, you like kind of almost G'd into it a little bit. And I was like, it wasn't that tall. So I was like, I don't know. I just couldn't wrap my head around whipping off the thing. And I see a video of him and I'm like, way to make me feel bad, Tom. Thanks a lot.
I know. You always think he's calming down, and then he just goes and does a massive turn up on a 170-foot jump somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, just pops up.
Yeah, and you're like,
It's,
bro, you're getting old
Yeah.
for this. Just calm down, Tom.
he's such a nut.
Who else have you gotten to ride with that you were, you know, like impressed by free riding?
I've been able to ride with McNeil a handful of times, and I've been able to, I mean, I didn't ride with them, but I met Patrick Evans when he just fresh on the Stark out in the hills, and I've met a lot of really cool dudes the few times that I've been to California. So, yeah, it's pretty cool being able to make some new content or contacts and just get to ride with some more people that progress me, because there's not a whole lot of people that push me in Utah. It's really just kind of comes down to whatever I can visualize in my own head and whatever I can study off of other people's videos.
Yeah.
And then when you go and ride with anybody in California, it's like you learn so much and it makes you want to progress watching them in person.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that, and I always used to say it because when I was young, you know, we didn't have the internet like this. So you had to wait for like videos to come out or magazines to come out. And then everybody, and I mean, still online, it's the same, but you're like watching these people and it doesn't seem like you're in the same realm as them until you actually meet the people, talk to them, and then jump the same jumps as them. And it kind of like mentally brings it to like, okay, you know, like I can grasp where they're at versus just like seeing stuff online or whatever, which makes it hard.
Yeah. I mean, even 2 years ago, everything seemed like everything I'm doing now seemed basically impossible. Like, I barely started. That's actually the one I broke my wrist on.
That actual jump, or like that in the video?
That's the same jump at the same clip. So I landed perfectly, and then there's kind of a small window that you're supposed to land in. You're supposed to land to the left, and I went to the right. And right after I landed, I was going so fast. It was like right when I looked up, I landed in the wrong area and hit a big bump, and it just hucked me over the bars at 40 or 50 miles an hour.
Yeah,
stuck out my hands to catch me. Snapped the wrist. But
like a rain rut or something, probably?
No, it's kind of hard to explain. I shouldn't have been jumping it the way the landing was. Like, there's really only like a 15 or 20 foot spot to land in, and if you go left, it would have been even worse than where I landed on the right side. But I just landed, and instead of hitting the clean run out spot, there was a big bump that I wasn't expecting to be that bad, and it kicked me so hard and just hucked me over the bars.
Ugh. That's never good. When never good feeling when you're just like, oh no, there's no stopping this.
Yeah, dislocated my finger and broke 2 bones in my hand, dislocated my wrist, surgery and pins, and 6 months later, here we are. Well, it's been about a year now, but I was riding in 6 months.
That's a long time to be off with, you know what I mean, to have something lay up. I think I've only, probably 2 times I've been like hurt bad enough where I was off for that amount of time. But it's never fun. Yeah, it was pretty devastating because it was my throttle wrist. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to twist the throttle again. And it's just like, it's funny how your mind plays tricks on you. Like, you always end up coming back, but it's still hard in the moment. Yeah. What did you end up breaking in your actual wrist? Do you know?
It was my scaphoid.
Yeah.
My scapula. It was two bones in my hand and dislocated wrist, dislocated finger, And like I tore a bunch of tendons too. I think the tendons is what took way longer. I only had one temporary pin, but they had to pin my hand back together with like 6 or 7 temporary pins because everything was so stretched out and whatnot.
The scaphoid, I broke that, and that's a crappy one. So I think, as much as it sucks, you may have been helped with that by being off for so long because of the tendons. Because like I broke this in '03 maybe, and that's as much as I can move it still. And it still sucks.
Yeah.
It hurts a lot. So that's why I actually asked to see if that was one of the things that you broke, because it is kind of a pain in the ass to heal sometimes. So
yeah, I think that bone has the least blood flow of every bone in the body. So but I did get a pin in it.
Yeah. So there's one blood vessel. It's like a big square, and then it has another like piece that comes off of it, and there's only one blood vessel that goes into that small piece. And I didn't get mine. The doctor said I could probably get away without screwing it right off of the bat, and then that didn't work. So that little piece died. And then I got surgery, and they screwed it into the other piece, but it never obviously came back to life, and then it ended up disintegrating. And then I had to get the screw pulled out because that was just in my wrist, wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's out of all my stuff. I mean, my leg is pretty bad, but out of all my stuff, that wrist injury is the worst. And I broke my ankle at the same time. I almost didn't even get it checked because it didn't really hurt that bad. So I was like, I guess x-ray it. And they're like, your wrist is worse than your ankle. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one to heal. My buddy just spent the last year trying to heal one, and then ended up getting surgery and putting a pin in it because it wouldn't heal.
Yeah.
So he wasted a whole year on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish, same thing. I wish that immediately when I got hurt, we'd have just been like, put the screw in it right off of the bat. But, we're here now. So you're not going to cry about it too much. So, yeah, I'm pumped that you guys are doing the video. How are you going to release the video? You're just going to do it like on a YouTube? Obviously, you're not going to print DVDs. That was a pain in the ass, getting DVDs printed.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, I'm not really planning on making any money on it. I would love to. It would be cool if I could break even, because I'm spending every dime I got on it, and we've got a few buddies that are kind of in on it with us and helping. So we're all putting a lot of dang money into it. It would be cool to try to sell some copies and make something off of it, but at the same time, if I can't figure out how to sell some cheap copies on iTunes or whatever, then we'll just throw it up on YouTube.
Yeah. Are you working YouTube the way that you're working your Instagram? Like, do you put stuff up all the time?
I've got a handful. So the YouTube and our apparel company name is called Neverboard. So that's kind of, it'll be something on the movie. Will have something. The movie name will have Neverboard in it. We are just barely starting to do like build videos on this vlog. We've posted a lot of shorts on YouTube, and but yeah, we're gonna start doing weekly or every other week vlogs on the YouTube. We should have started it forever ago, but yeah, we're starting to do it, and yeah.
That's what I was thinking with your, if over the whole course of filming this, you continue to do like vlogs and behind the scenes and shorts and stuff like that, I would think that you'd probably be able to get enough. You only need 1,000 subscribers to start generating, or like get monetized, so, and a certain number of watch hours. But I think with the following that you already have, maybe on like Instagram, if you get a quarter of that over to YouTube to watch stuff, then you should probably be all right by the time you get that released, to maybe generate some money that way. I just don't.
Yeah.
It would be cool and retro to print some DVDs, but I'm like, who's even got a DVD player? Do you have a DVD player?
Yeah. No, dude, I don't know anybody either. That's funny.
I don't even have one. I have plenty of shit on DVD. I have no DVD player. I'm like, I don't even know how to play this stuff. I've got tons of
I
old
know.
mini DV tapes from filming. I don't know how to get anything off of them either.
Yeah, dude. It's wild how things change so quickly these
Yeah,
last few years.
yeah, for sure. Um, so, yeah, when you went to California, did you get to ride or were you just visiting or?
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was the beginning of February. I went and spent a week and a half down there. We were dealing with quite a bit of weather. I was supposed to go to McNeil's and get my flips locked in, but I ended up just sitting at McNeil's for 3 days, waiting for the weather to clear, and then the rain. I just ended up leaving.
Oh, wow.
And then we went and rode Superstition with Cole Denny, um, and then stopped by Akatia Wells for a little bit with Cole, and then let's see, Ripper Ray's house. He's got a compound down in Campo, California. Some sweet ramp and free ride jumps out there. Spent a couple days in each of those locations, and then we only spent one day in the hills. We went to Beaumont one day, and then I had to come home. But it's
Did,
fun out there.
did you have a good tour guide for Beaumont? Because there is a bunch of stuff there. You just, like I said, you need somebody kind of knows where all the stuff is because it's scattered about.
Yeah, so luckily the last couple of years I've been there three or four times now, and we've had kind of the tour guide of some locals and whatnot, but we did hook up and ride with NZ Freeride. He's out of Australia,
Cool.
freestyle guy. So he showed us around some of their new digs and whatnot, and yeah, one of those videos you showed on my Instagram not too long ago was with him showing us around down there.
Cool. One time I went to Beaumont with Javier Viegas, and I didn't have a bike, so I rode on the back of his bike to all the jumps, and then he would jump them and then get off and give me the bike, and I would jump them, and then we'd ride over to another jump.
That's like he's been killing it in the hills lately.
Dude, he's like basically doing all of his regular tricks off of dirt hits.
I know, it doesn't even make sense. Like,
It's got to be a good face. I'm assuming the face of that thing is pretty dialed to where he's like, this is the one, I'm sending it.
I mean, he's flipped basically every one of them out there, and he's done some type of flip combo on them all too. So it's like, yeah, they do have good faces, but it's still like
I mean, he's
to
a
have to
maniac.
be able to flip third gear ones and short second gear ones, and then a flip indie on, like, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
He's killing it out there.
Yeah. He's one of the most mentally strong. I say this all the time. He's one of the most mentally strong people that I've been around. And really, any of those guys that I used to mechanic for Javier. I'd go to events. And any of those guys that rode like the Red Bull X Fighters, like they're all so dialed and just like I'm doing, like all my biggest stuff everywhere. And he definitely has that. And I remember even when he was young, I think he was flipping super kickers or mini bikes or something. I don't remember what the jump was. But he went from, I think it was mini bikes, and then he just went to like 75 feet and was like, I'm going to flip my regular bike, and just flipped it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
like no intermediate there? Like you just were like, I'm going to huck it.
Yeah. Not many people can pull it off, like, to actually get away with that. Most of them that try that end up having a few spills before they can get it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that is like, because I've watched people flip into the flip in the pit, be fine, and then as soon as they go to dirt, do nothing that they did in the pit, and just totally, get freaked out, and then just not. I think that's most of it, is just that they freak out and can't handle the pressure and kind of just do things wrong, you know, because they're like so amped up about it. And I think just being mentally strong and able to be like, just do what you know how to do, and like, you know what I mean? Don't freak out, make it happen, stay calm, focused, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
But that's harder done than said.
Yeah, it's a lot of self-talk and like listening to yourself too. Like, don't take too many unnecessary risks. It's luckily we live in a day and age where we can most of the time go and learn on an airbag or whatever, but it still is a whole nother step to yank something to dirt. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of self-talk, a lot of keeping your mind straight and not letting it wander too much.
I tell people, I would always say, you know, to do this stuff, you just have to have a strong belief that everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
You have to be like, no, I know how fast, I'm guessing, but I know how fast to hit this jump. Yeah.
Yeah, it's calculated risk for sure. Pick your window. If I land this short, I'm going to be okay. If I go this long, I'm going to be okay. But anything outside of that, it's going to be pretty rough. So.
Exactly. Well, thanks for coming on. We'll get wrapping up here. What do you, anybody you want to thank? Sponsors?
Yeah, Edge Power Sports in Draper, Utah has been a big help of mine. He's a great dude that owns that shop and helps me with my bikes a little bit, and yeah, that's been great. He got me on Fly Racing. Grateful for their support also. My graphics company, Throttle Therapy, they do some sweet stuff and they help me out a ton. And Pit Viper is my goggle company and my glasses. So super grateful to those guys. And yeah, I'm also grateful for this opportunity. It's cool talking to you. Sorry, I'm probably not the greatest, and this is not the greatest place and time to be doing it for me, but grateful to talk to you, man.
Yeah, no, that's I appreciate that. And yeah, just trying to keep, you know, like a little bit of media going for FMX, because right now we're kind of lacking. So myself and Steve Sommerfeld seem to be the only two guys really covering, you know, and doing podcasts like this. So you know, for me, I'm like, you probably don't know who I am, so I'm pumped that you're willing to come on the podcast and sit down and chat with me. And it's always good meeting other, you know, dirt bike enthusiasts.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's great meeting you.
Where can everybody go to find you? On Instagram, YouTube, whatever.
So Instagram has been my biggest thing now, but we are starting to post weekly or every other week vlogs on our channel, Never Bored. One word, Never Bored. And yeah, that's pretty much all we're posting right now. There will be a movie dropping springtime this time next year, so stay tuned for that. Hoping that comes out into something that we can be proud of. And yeah.
And your Instagram is just your name?
Yeah, my Instagram's just my name, Jacob Neiwert.
There you go. So you guys go check him out. And yeah, when I guess if he makes DVDs, go buy a DVD, people, even though you don't have a DVD player.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have to revisit this in a year or something.
Yeah, absolutely. When you get close or you got any developments or anything you want to talk about, then let me know. And people that listen to this will know, but basically I just started working with the Krusty guys. So my podcasts from now are going to go up on the Krusty Facebook page and YouTube and stuff like that. So we're Krusty's coming back. I'm going to produce their podcast, The Vault of Chaos. They got a bunch of good guests lined up. And yeah, all the two wheels stuff is going to end up on Krusty as well. So you're going to be the first podcast up on the Krusty Facebook, which has over 1 million followers. So that's
cool, dude. Heck yeah.
That should help everybody. All right, guys, we're out of here. Thank you for watching. And yeah, see you next time.